When we're entering activities for a project in Alert Stratus, we can do so in a number of ways. So we can choose to do so from our time entry and calendar portal. If we're creating a number of activities that are going against either multiple cases or multiple projects, we can choose to manually create them here from our activities entity. Or for this example, we're going to create a service activity right from a project. So I'll start by selecting the project I'd like to create an activity for. And from here I can select activities if I'd like to create an activity at the overall project level. Or for this example, I'll scroll down on my form to my tasks, and I'm going to create an activity against a particular task on this project. So I'll start by selecting the task. I can go to my activities entity here, where I'll see a list of all of my open and close activities for this project scoping task. And I can either select my new activity button here in the ribbon bar, or I can go to my add tab here, where I'll see a list of all of my activity types, and I can simply select the type of activity that I'd like to create. So for this example, I'm going to create a service activity. So I'll start by giving my activity a name, and you'll notice it's bringing over my project task here for me. I can select the resources that we'd like to assign this activity to. You'll notice it's bringing over my service code here for me because when I go back to my original project task, you'll notice I've set time and materials to be my default service. I can plug in any site details that I might have for this activity. I can put in the account that we're performing the work for. I can also type in any location details as well if I wish. And here I can show different types of time if I'd like to show it as pending or reserved and so forth in this resources calendar. Next, I'm going to have my scheduling information. So it's whatever time I put in as my scheduled start time and my scheduled end time. That's what's going to appear in my resources calendar and in my resources time entry and calendar portal. So for this example, I'll plug in from 9 until 1 p.m. and I'm going to save and close this. So now that the activity has been saved, I can go back to my task, select activities, and I might have to refresh this by clicking this refresh button here. So I'll now see that I've got a scheduled service activity against this project task. Now that I've actually completed the work and I need to plug in my actual start and end time, I can go back into this activity and I'll go down to my actual start and end time. So I'll start by putting in my start time. I can put in my end time. I might get an error message here just to let me know that I've put in an end time that's actually before my start time. So I'll just put in until 3 p.m. I can plug in any travel to or any travel from minutes if this is a piece of data that we are going to be collecting for our activities. And this will be particularly important if we're actually billing our travel to and travel from minutes. I can also put in any lunch minutes. I can also plug in any quantity of miles that we've driven for this activity. I can put in a description. Anytime we've got a costed appointment or for any service activity, as long as we have an actual start time and an actual end time for the activity, the system's going to assume that the work has been complete. So if we're going to select Mark Complete, we're going to get an error message. So here the error message is letting us know that we cannot complete a costed activity and that the system will mark the activity as closed once it's gone through a billing cycle. So rather what we're going to do is we're going to select Save and Close, and the system will assume that the activity is complete because it's got an actual start and end time associated with it. So now that that's been saved and closed, the system will now update my task tracking code for labor. It's going to update my project tasks estimate versus actuals details, and the activity is going to be converted to closed once it's gone through a project billing cycle.